Chicago Bears Now is sponsored by Manscaped. They have launched the all-new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, and you better believe it's my birthday tonight. I'm going to be pulling this bad boy out because you know what happens on your birthday. Get started with Manscaped, the best ball hair trimmer products on the planet and other men's grooming items as well. My name is Harrison Graham. Let's dive into today's video. Ryan Poles, Montez Sweat, Jaylon Johnson, all speaking with the media today. And let's start with Ryan Poles and react to his press conference after he got things rolling at Halas Hall earlier today. And three main takeaways I have from his presser. Number one, he did say that they're already working on a Montez Sweat extension, said that they're confident that they can get a long-term extension done with the new pass rusher. And I kind of wonder where this is going to come in at as we evaluate the highest paid edges in the NFL. And we see Rashawn Gary, who just got that deal with Green Bay at $24 million per year. If I'm Montez Sweat's camp, that's probably who I'm wanting to top. I'm probably asking for $25 million per year. He's certainly not a Myles Garrett, a Nick Bosa, or somebody like that. But 4 years, $100 million. I mean, that's probably what you're looking at here if I had to guess. Now, obviously, the Bears have the franchise tag at their disposal for just under $20.5 million. But it's not going to be cheap. Like, you don't make this trade without getting ready to shelve out some money. And you're talking about an all-world run defender at the edge and a very good pass rusher as well, all built into one body, and that's what Montez Sweat provides. Ryan Poles says that extension is already being worked on and expressed optimism to getting that deal done. Okay, number two, he wants to keep Jaylon Johnson. Obviously, it's been a hectic 36 hours for Jaylon Johnson. We're going to talk about what he said later on today as well. Here's what Poles had to say. He said, I don't want to lose Jaylon Johnson. If I were to lose Johnson, I would like to have a high chance of hitting on another Jaylon Johnson, which to me is a late first, early second round pick. We are still open to getting a contract done. And to me, I hear that and I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. Get it done then. Like, Ryan Poles, I always appreciate his candidness and how he talks, but actions speak louder than words. Let's find a way. I'm not saying, again, you just roll over and give in to demands, but there's got to be a middle ground here, even if it's slightly in the player's favor in your eyes. So I hope they could salvage that situation. I think the way Jaylon Johnson spoke earlier today, he has not closed the door on signing with this team. So hopefully time can heal all wounds and a contract extension can be agreed upon between now and this offseason. And then I think the last one here is he showed full support of his head coach, Matt Eberflus. And obviously this is going to be met with some criticism, some doubt. I certainly have thoughts. Here's what he said, and then I'll react. He said, what I see every day where I see him address the team, I see his approach through adversity. It is stable. I know in the outside world it doesn't look like that, and I know it looks like we're far away, but this dude comes in every day and just keeps chipping away. The way he holds everything down here is incredible for how loud it is, for how tough it is. I see a grown man that has leadership skills to get this thing out of a hole and into where it needs to be. And again, it's kind of one of those deals where it's like, to an extent, I respect the loyalty. I appreciate you having your head coach's back. It all sounds good when you hear it at the press conference. But at some point, we need results. I'm not asking you to go be an 11-win team and make the playoffs. But, like, you're 2-6. Last year at this time, you were 3-5, and you have a better roster this year. So, hey, Ryan, I appreciate you having Matt Eberflus's back, but the guy is 5-20 as a head coach. He has yet to win 2 games in a row as this team's head coach. He went over a calendar year without winning a game at home until recently. Like, at some point, it's not just about how hard you work. It's not just about having the right mindset and the right work ethic. It's about winning football games, and the Bears have simply not done enough of that in this regime up to this point. Now, be honest with me, Bears fans. What is your confidence level in Matt Eberflus? Scale from 0 to 10. I'm at like a 2. I mean, I think the defense has improved, although they had a setback against the Chargers, but it's not very high. I mean, it's not a 0. Like, I think he's better than a Josh McDaniels who got fired today, and he kicked McDaniels' ass a couple weeks ago, but 1.5, 2, I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and be like, well, Ryan Poles believes in him, so do I. I don't. I'm at a 1.5, 2, somewhere in that range. Let me know what you guys think. Now, we are doing a sub battle this week against our Saints channel because the Bears do play the Saints this Sunday down in New Orleans. Obviously, the Bears at 2-6 have been struggling all year. Saints at 4-4, they've been very up and down. Montez Sweat, who we'll talk about later, did say he expects to play, so I'm excited about that. Subscribe. We can't lose the Saints and the new subscribers. If we're going to lose on the field, which, hey, maybe we won't, let's at least win this competition. So if you want daily Bears coverage, hit that subscribe button right now. All right, we go from Ryan Poles to Jaylon Johnson. And I should mention this, the order of these guys talking today. Jaylon talked first, then Montez Sweat talked, then Ryan Poles spoke a couple hours later. So I'm not necessarily reacting in the order of these guys talk. So I just want to get that out there. So he met with the media today after a hectic trade deadline for him. And 5 takeaways that I have. Number 1, he still, despite everything, wants to be a Bear. He even admitted today that he's surprised he's still with the Bears. He thought once the trade request was out there and the Bears allowed him to seek a trade, he expected to get traded. That did not happen, and he was asked straight up, hey, do you still want to be there? And he said, I've said since the beginning I still want to be here, and I still do. But he made it clear that, you know, he wants to get proper value, which we'll get to that in a second. But it's not like he's done with the Bears. He said he's going to go out there, be a pro, play like he always has. So hopefully, again, something can get done there. Number 2, he made it clear, too, he does not want to reset the cornerback market. He is not expecting – he even used a phrase like, I'm not looking to set records or something like that. But it's also clear that they're far apart, him and the Bears, on what that contract could look like. Again, we heard that report earlier today that Jeremy Fowler says the Bears didn't offer him top 10 corner money. At least that was his estimation. What does that mean? Do they offer less than 15 a year, less than 14 a year? Who knows? Those details are important, but if you can get him at 16, 17 million per year, I think you absolutely do that. Now, maybe he asked for 20, I don't know, but that's not fringe top 10. That's fringe top 3. So we'll see. But Jaylon Johnson made it clear, hey, I'm not looking to reset the market. So take that for what it's worth. And obviously when you hear from Poles, when you hear from Johnson, it's hard to know if they're bending the truth from their camps or not. You just have to take their word for it with a grain of salt because that's all we have at this point in time. Da-da-da, da-da-da. The brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra has been launched from Manscaped. Gentlemen, our friends at Manscaped have been working night and day to bring you the below-the-waist grooming experience like none other with this brand new product, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We're talking about a next-generation trimmer with an interchangeable blade heads for whatever shave your mind can possibly imagine. This 5th-generation trimmer features 2, count them 2, interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little bit off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. The 5.0 Ultra also has dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, 3-link setting combs, and oh, did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too, not just water resistant, waterproof. Manscaped is constantly looking not only to launch new products, but to upgrade on their products before. That's why we're up to the 5.0 on the lawnmower. I've been a fan of the 3.0, the 4.0. Just got the 5.0 in the mail. I told you guys I'm getting nice and spivvy tonight for a little birthday extravaganza. Thanks to Manscaped, you guys can as well. Use code BEARS20 at manscaped.com. Go check out the brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. You are not going to regret it. And go check out their other products as well. They're constantly putting out new stuff. It is Manscaped. Check the comments, check the description, manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20. More from Jaylon Johnson's presser takeaways. He was asked straight up, why do you think you and the Bears are so far apart? He paused for a second and then short answer, I don't know, is what he said. I think he's a little confused. I think he's a little disappointed. I think he's upset, obviously. And he's balancing the, hey, I want to be here, but I also want to get paid what I deserve. So that's a tough spot to be in. So he's not sure why Ryan Poles, who, by the way, he said he understands and does not feel disrespected by, understands it's a business. He didn't throw any shade at Poles, but he did say, I don't know why the gap is as big as it is. He was asked about this as well. hey, Jaylon, would a Montez Sweat extension before you getting one upset you? And he said, yeah, it would bother me. He admitted that. So, and look, I understand. Ryan Poles, his messaging when he took this job was, I believe in grooming homegrown talent and paying those players. Jaylon Johnson's homegrown. I know Ryan Poles didn't draft him, but he's homegrown. He's delivered on where he got drafted. I mean, Ryan Poles himself said we value him as a late first, early second round pick. He went in the late second round. So he has outplayed his draft position based on this new GM that did not draft him. So, yeah, listen, I hope they extend Montez Sweat as soon as possible. But I also want Jaylon Johnson extended, and I wish that was already done. I understand if I'm Jaylon Johnson or any other player that's been in that locker room for a while, like, dude, you just traded for this dude, and you're going to pay him before you pay one of our own? I know Sweat's on a Bear now, and I'm rooting like hell for the guy. You got to get him extended. Let me make that abundantly clear. But I understand Jaylon Johnson if he's frustrated if that happens, because it's mixed messaging at best if you're Ryan Poles. And then he said this too. He said, I believe I'm arguably the best cornerback in the NFL right now. Now, there was a couple of people who bent that quote on Twitter that said Jaylon Johnson said he's the best corner in the NFL. They left out a key word. He said arguably. He never claimed to be the best. He said, I feel like I'm arguably the best. And he also said right now. I don't think he's saying period or in over the course of his career. If you take his quote literally where he says arguably, aka it's debatable, and right now, he is in the argument for best corner in the NFL. Now, would I say he's the best? No, but he's having by far the best year of his career. QB rating when targeted is under 25. Teams don't throw at him, and when they do, it's either incomplete or it's picked off more times than not. That's just how it's gone this year. So I think if you take him literally, he makes a point. Now, we're talking about 6 football games this season. We're not talking about 4 years' worth, which is what he's played up to this point, but he's obviously played some good football in the past. He's just playing at an elite level right now. Is he an elite corner, period? I'd like to see it for a little bit longer, but regardless, he is a player worth paying, period, end of story. I mean, we've been over this all week at this point, but I just wanted to clear that up because I think people like misquoted him and kind of bent the truth of what he said, and it's like if you take it literally, he actually makes a pretty damn good point. Now, will Jaylon Johnson be on the Bears roster next season? Predict it for us. Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'll be optimistic. I will say yes. If you get a Montez Sweat extension done, you've got the franchise tag for Jaylon Johnson, which he also acknowledged, like, hey, they could franchise tag me. So he understands how this goes, and I think Jaylon will be here at least for next season. I want to welcome Montez Sweat to Chicago. He had his first presser with the media today after passing his physical, so that trade is officially official. He was asked, and he said, yes, I believe I will be ready to play on Sunday against the Saints. He was non-committal on his future. Now, I don't want to be misleading here at all. That's why we've got a quote here for what Montez Sweat, when asked about, what do you think about a potential contract extension, said a couple of things. So here's what he said first. He said, I think all that goes into play, from the financial to the people around me to the players in the building, all that type of stuff like that. But so, as I said, I just got here. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to lay my head tonight. So, yeah. So he's basically saying, look, man, I just got here. I got to meet my teammates. I got to get a feel for this organization. It's just impossible for me to even answer that right now. But then he also said in the presser, when asked about an extension, he said, while I haven't been involved, I'm sure my agent and them, talking about the Bears, are talking. And Ryan Poles said, hey, we're already working on an extension. So let's not hit the panic button, even though Ryan Poles has not had a great track record so far of getting big contract extensions done. He got Komet done, but has not gotten Jaylon Johnson done, did not get Roquan Smith done. But I don't think we should look at this as like, well, Montez Sweat, he's non-committal. Maybe he doesn't want to be here. He's been with the team for 12 hours. I think we got to give this a little bit of time so he can just catch his breath a little bit. I mean, the guy literally said he doesn't know where he's sleeping tonight. So here's what I will say. If an extension isn't reached, that is not an indictment on Montez Sweat. That's on the Chicago Bears. If the Bears offer him a proper contract, he will be here. Period. End of story. He hasn't had that big NFL contract yet. So I think that's pretty cut and dry there. And if he keeps playing like this, like he has in Washington, that price tag is only going to go up. So the sooner the better. Again, it would piss Jaylon Johnson off, understandably so. But between those two guys, you got to get one of them done because you have to have the franchise tag available for the other player just in case contract negotiations stall. And I'll just triple down on it. You don't make a trade of this caliber without a contract extension in mind. It's a little disconcerting that a framework of a deal reportedly wasn't done as they were trading for him, like the Bradley Chubb one was last year with the Miami Dolphins, but you still have a lot of time. Montez Sweat can be the top dog here. I think that would be appealing for a player like him where, he played with some other talented defensive linemen. He can be the guy here in Chicago for a very, very long time, and surely he would take that on as a challenge. I was impressed with the way he answered questions today at Halas Hall, so I think he's going to fit in just fine. So what do you think? Will Montez Sweat get an extension? If you think so, type E for extension. If you think he's going to get franchise tagged, type T for tagged. I think a deal will get done. Again, I got to see it to believe it because Ryan Poles doesn't have a great track record early on in his tenure of doing that, but you don't make this trade of a proven player like this unless an extension is very likely to get done. So I got to believe that's going to be the case. Before we get out of here, Bears injury report, mostly projections today because it was a walkthrough practice today. The DNPs, guys who wouldn't have practiced, Justin Fields, Nate Davis, Tremaine Edmonds, Jaquan Brisker, Terrell Smith still dealing with mono. I think he's going to miss another game here. Braxton Jones limited was his projection. He's still on IR, so that 21-day practice window, we're in the second week of that, so it'd be huge to get him back against the Saints. I think tomorrow's critical. If he's a full participant tomorrow, I would expect him to be activated by this weekend. Lucas Patrick was full, and then Eddie Jackson was full too, so that could point in the right direction for him, not only being active like he was last week, but actually playing and starting this week against the Saints. All right, that's where we're at with everything. Busy day at Halas Hall. Lots going on with the Chicago Bears and this football team. We'll be back in the morning with a mailbag video here on the channel. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll have our Thursday live show at 4 o'clock Central Time. So subscribe and join us for that. We'll see you then. Bear down.